principal, Professor Mohapatra, HOD of this department, and also my classmate, Dr. Lilaki Honda, Madam Dr. Nomita Patnaik, and Dr. Sanjay Mohan. I have the immense pleasure to be with you to share my some thoughts, feelings, ideas. It is not that but you have praised a lot. I don't think I deserve this. I am just a student like you, and probably I read more than you. That is the truth. I read more than you. That is the only difference. I read more than you. Next thing is, it is not that I know everything and you do not know anything. There is no end to learning. The moment when one thinks, I have learned everything, I know everything, then that is the end of the world. And learning for your career, learning for job, is something different from learning for society cause. Both are always not also same. When you prepare your career, job, you have to prepare in different way. When you want to contribute to society, you have to also read in some other angle. Particularly, I had an aspiration when I was a student of economics. I had an aspiration to become a journalist and academician or academician. But immediately I joined LIC after completion of my post graduation, and then I got associated with the employees to social activities. I married a working lady who belongs to LIC. So I thought I should continue in LIC. And since I had an aspiration, so remaining LIC, I tried to flourish. And it clicked. Hard labor, dedication, commitment, determination, perseverance, and capable of coping with stress, strain, ecstasy, agony, success, failure, pleasure, humiliation. That helped me to reach that situation. I had never thought when I started writing in 2002, February, I had never thought that I will reach this stage. And since 2002 February, there is no single month on which I do not have a published article. I write many things in social media. Even from that day, there is no single month on which I don't have a published article. It doesn't mean I don't have a health problem, I don't have social problem, I don't have family problem. I have everything. But you have to cope with the situation if you want to rise. Before going to topic, I will definitely tell you something. You must remember that you do not know what is stored in your life. You may think I may not achieve, I may fail. Don't never think. You may perform better than others. You know, people are not getting medical engineering, they are getting also civil service. They are getting IS, they are getting OS, isn't it? Yes. So, one is a failure in one area does not mean he is a failure in all other areas. Remember, one is a failure in one time does not mean he is a failure in all other time. Society remembers those who have contributed to society. Society does not remember those who are only brilliant students. Society remembers those who have contributed to society. Person is tested when he adjusts or she adjusts with the situation when things will not go. Everything will not happen the way you desire. You may aspire something, it may not come, but you might not have aspired something, you may achieve more than this. So today you cannot tell that I cannot get this. Only your dedication, commitment, determination, perseverance, hard labor can ensure success. Never think that I cannot do it. You might have a problem. For example, when you see a student from jail, or you see a faculty from foreign university. Don't think that I am inferior to them, Also, don't think that I am superior to them. You think, say, I can do. So you have first you have faith in your ability, then you will work hard, then you can achieve your success. You determine. You have a different role. You have to build up your career. You have to also contribute to the society. Both ways should come. You have a responsibility also family. So you have to decide today. You should have a faith upon your ability and determination that can lead to your success. I do not want to consume more time on that aspect. Now, coming to the topic, challenge of employment and inequality. This is very interlinked. Both topics are interlinked and very important and burning issue because inequality is rampant. Inequality is pervasive. There is a huge inequality in society. Simultaneously, there is a problem of unemployment. And you must go read for unemployment because you want a job, is not it? But everybody cannot get a job in the organized sector. But job must be created. Job should not be squeezed as we witness today. And job does not mean only organized sector. Particularly, why it is interlinked, inequality of opportunity also create hindrance of getting a job. Is not it? Suppose you are one day entry into a medical institution. If you have money, you can become a doctor today. If you have money, you can become an engineer today. But if you don't have money, you cannot become an engineer doctor unless you get a entrance successful in the higher level. That means inequality opportunity also hinder your success. Similarly, there is also manipulation in the jobs. In the top level, if you are too brilliant, so you can get every job. But in certain level of job, there is also possibility of manipulation. So inequality, corruption, malversation, all are also hinder progress and also hinder job opportunity, prevent deserving to get a part they deserve. So inequality and unemployment has a interlinked, or inequality employment has there is a linkage, isn't it? Particularly, I must come first inequality, then I will come to the employment. What is inequality? How you will evaluate? Inequality means you must understand when someone is get deprived because he or she does not possess something and he does not have capacity to manipulate something. Inequality in his Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz, in his book Price for Inequality, inequality is self-perpetuating. Remember, inequality is self-perpetuating. Those who are beneficiary of an unequal system, those who are beneficiary of an inequality, they want to perpetuate the inequality. Basically, when we understand inequality means wealth inequality or income inequality, which is known as economic inequality. But inequality may be caste inequality, gender inequality. There are so many types of inequality. It is not confined to only this type of inequality. Those who are beneficiary want to perpetuate the inequality. Basic instinct of the human being is to feel important in a given situation. This is the basic instinct of human being. Every human being, bearing few, those who are normally human beings, they want to enjoy utmost importance in a given situation. This is a human instinct. That is also good. That is not bad. That will help you, that will stimulate you, that spur you to achieve something in your life. For example, you are in your classroom. There must be competition who become the top in the class. And the competition should be ethical. When compensation is ethical, then it is genuine, it helps in the progress of the society. But when competition is unethical, then it creates a problem and then it will lead to inequality. So in a society, people want to perpetuate inequality by unfair means, by manipulation. That is by using power, authority. For example, you are applying for PhD. You are giving interview. Somebody not better than you may get, you may be deprived. That's a problem. So inequality is self-perpetuating, and those who are beneficiaries, they want to perpetuate. Suppose those who are enough wealth, when we are struggling to take out our basic necessities or to get a job, those who are billionaires, they are what they are thinking. They are thinking, somebody is thinking that I should be number one rich person in India. Somebody is thinking I want to be number one person in the world, rich person of the world. They have enough wealth. They have wealth. They are seventh generation can live 1,000 years. But why they want? Because they want to perpetuate equality. They want to feel something important in the society. Similarly, those who are born higher caste, they want to perpetuate higher caste inequality. Those who are suppose those who are born as male, they want to perpetuate gender equality. Gender equality, of course, is not perpetuated male. It is a social phenomenon. It is related to the patriarchal mindset of the people. Sometimes people blame those who have a better job. They want to show I want to have a better job because I am something from different from others. It is not everything one aspire to contribute to society. Sometimes people aspire to perpetuate inequality. They want to show they are different from others. For example, suppose we want a house, but people have a 3-4 house today, 5 house today. You read in the papers because they want to show that I have so many property. People use to purchase vehicles today. Everybody is affected by consumerism. Demonstration effect. Demonstration effect means to imitate the superior consumption pattern of your immediate neighbors or your relations. Everybody is affected. People do not purchase because of a necessary. People purchase because of social status. If he has a car costing 10 lakhs rupees, somebody will try to purchase a car costing 15 lakh rupees. Another will try to purchase 20 lakh rupees. If one has a building, another will try to purchase a bigger building. It is not that I am not affected. I am also affected, but I try to control. It is not that I control fully, but I control to some extent. Because I am living in a society, I am influenced by others. So, people want to enjoy supremacy in a government position, and that push someone to perpetuate inequality. Those who are beneficiary of the inequal system, they want to perpetuate it. If some system inequality is vanished or removed, another may be also created unless state intervene. It is the role of a state that should intervene to make a equal distribution of resources, to make ensure that nobody is deprived because of his caliber. He mistake. One must not be deprived of anything without his mistake. That is the thing. But that does not happen. That is why there is inequality. For example, recently, every year Oxfam produces report on inequality. Recently, Oxfam has produced so many decades. Recently, it has produced report decade of division. It has produced inequality kills. It has produced survival of richest. So many reports, while inequality report is produced, there are so many reports that shows how inequality is growing. For example, as per the recent Oxfam report, in the world, since the pandemic 2002-2003, 5 top richest person, their wealth has increased twice. Remember, their wealth has increased twice, 5 richest person. Whereas 477 crore people, they have seen their decline in income in real term. Real term means taking into inflation. Most of times, people who, those who are in power, they tell that we have given so much, this has increased so much. No, everything increases in nominal term. When I was reading, their school fees was 2000, around 2.5 rupees or 5 rupees in school fees. So everything increases in a nominal term. It should be evaluated taking inflation into account or as percent of GDP. We are deceived by telling that it has increased. In case of India, during pandemic, the wealth of billionaire has increased 37%. During pandemic, when 97 crore people saw their income decline, real income decline, at that time, billionaire's wealth has increased 37%. Number of a billionaire was 102 in 2002, it is now 169. And their wealth is around 800 billion, remember. And from 2012 to 2021, the wealth created in India from this 40% of wealth has gone to 1% rich wealth. And 30% rich enjoy 90% of our wealth. That means 30% of the people enjoy the 90% of our wealth. So you imagine what is the position of the rest. So why there is a discrepancy? Because the reason is that market is outwitting the state. The role of due to neoliberal process, neoliberalism, due to market economy, the role of market is growing while the role of state is declining. It is not that there should not be any inequality. There should be inequality, but based on merit. If all are made equal, then there will be no entrepreneurship. There will be no interest. There will be society cannot grow. If everybody will treated same based irrespective of talent, then there may be that may dampen your spirit, isn't it? But inequality should not deprive one of our legitimate rights. System should not be declined. So when market economy is growing, role of state is declining, and a system is rigged in favor of the rich. That's so important. Your principal was telling about giving the GST and after in addition to income tax. Yes, we must pay tax. I also pay tax. But when I pay tax, those who are earning crores of rupees in playing IPL, those who are earning crores of rupees by making celebrities making advertisement, should not they pay at 80-90%? Should not they pay at 60%? When I pay 30%, should they pay as 30%? That means when I pay 30% tax, on the basis of their income, they should pay at least 60%. Then when they do not pay 60% tax, pay 30%, that means they are given the tax subsidy of 30%. Is not it? When somebody poor people are given anything, it is told as freebies and told as it is anti-reforms. It is dubbed as very wrong policy of government, populism. But nobody says when they are given huge tax concession, when they are allowed to evade the tax. That is the question. My question is that when I have to pay the tax for the development of the society and nation, equally I have to ensure that those who are rich, those who are billionaire, they must pay a higher rate of tax. That is not happening in the society. That should create a revolution in your mind. I should not ask that I should not pay. Yes, I must pay. I have got a responsibility to address on society when I am earning money. That means system is rigged in favor of the rich. We are unable to fight. That is resulting growing unemployment and inequality. That's the main of reason. And state is withdrawing its role. State is pushed to evade its law. How it is rigged? You know there are tax havens. Do you know there is a tax havens? There are around 120, 32 tax havens around. It may be more many different countries where these tax havens have been created, where rich politicians, bureaucrats, ministers keep their black money, their identity is kept secret, they evaded tax, and if they pay tax, they very low tax. Black money flow away and kept. The system is created. Another thing is corporate tax is reduced in liberation process. Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, they have advocated from there is no alternative, privatization, trickle down theory. That means if tax is cut, rich will have more disposable income. They will rich corporate will spend more, then economic growth will happen. Isn't it? But that is not happening. By this, corporate tax has been cut all over wide. In India, corporate tax was called in 2019-20. From 30% it was reduced to 25%, and in some cases 15%. And by this, India is also losing resources. The burden is falling on the pauper in form of GST, increase of GST, increase of loan, debt, that is falling on. So, all over the world, corporate tax is reduced, market is allowed to operate unfettered, unhindered, and it has enormous power to dethrone a government. Real power is enjoyed by a corporate who control the entire world economy, and they also control can dethrone a government also. Understood? Another area is how they become rich, system is rich, interest rate. Interest rate is deliberately kept low. Interest rate must be higher than inflation, at least 2%. But it is kept lower than inflation. That means savers are worst hit. Borrowers are beneficiary. Corporators are the second biggest borrower in India. After government, corporates are the second biggest borrower of India. They borrow, they do not repay the loan. They are willful defaulters. Do you know that in the last 9 years, 15.4 lakhs crores, 15.4 lakhs crores, remember, some has been written off, and only 13 to 15% has been recovered. Then who are beneficiary of this rest amount? And today, as per last budget, around 21 lakh crore tax amount is not in dispute or not recovered. 21 lakh crores, remember, figure. When this loan is written off, how bank manages to generate profit? Because depositors are paid a lower real interest. Real interest means interest minus inflation difference. They are paid lower interest, which is equal to. Then this raises inequality. Another is privatization also leads to inequality. I am not against the private sector, remember. Our economy is a mixed economy where public sector should play commanding heights. It should generate profit, it should generate a surplus. It has also social obligation. But since liberation, role of a corporate sector is growing while public sector are gradually declining. That is a major challenge. Because corporate sector, I am not against the corporate sector, I am not against the private sector, but I am against the loot and plunder of private sector. Where it happens. However, one may be good, he will try to maximize profit, remember, as an individual capacity. But when a public sector owns, it will not give stress to the maximize profit, it will also have a social values, contribution to society, equity. Public sector are also problems, private sector are problems. Public sector monopoly is always good, private sector monopoly is very, very dangerous. They build up cartel. You see, so many cars are sold in market, sports utility. Do you see why there is no decline in prices? Because there is a union among themselves. They will not reduce prices. That is the one important thing. So, in the process of privatization, the resource, the public sector are built up, the money collected from us by way of taxation. Is not it? But when this is sold or privatized or share is sold, when public sector have a share is declining, not it is less than 50%, it should be more than 50% till it continues as a public sector status. When it is privatized or sold, then the national asset built on our tax money is handed over the private sector at cheaper price. Wealth remains in India, but wealth is transferred from the rich to from the poor to rich, or from common people to the corporate. Your GDP grows, but inequality grows. That's the one reason. Public sector have a sympathy. Public sector creates more job. Public sector when enter a public sector, he feels that is a buying sector. When one goes to the private sector, he doesn't feel that I am below. Public private sector is always maximize profit. Even you have a private sector, you will try to maximize profit. So public sector, presence of a public sector reduces the exploitative mentality of a private sector. Remember, when public sector are declining, then profit exploitation is growing, and that is more rampant in education and health today. So many schemes are declared by government. Okay, it is good, but you ask them, if you have capacity to implement so many schemes, because it is from our taxpayer monies, not there from any pocket. Why do not you provide the education and health free? That is my biggest question. If you have the capacity to give so much things to people, so much flow to so many schemes, then why you do not provide the only health and education free? That not only erode the purchasing power of the people, that not only brings the people, common people from the, drag them to quagmire of poverty and starvation, that also creates an inequality, that creates erosion of social moral values. How you may ask? When you spend 50 lakh rupees to have a medical education, and you come out a doctor, then will you to try to the short masses? You will try to earn money legally, illegally, or exploiting patients. Is not it? When you read at the school and you are the children and enter the school and pay huge money for your reading to the educational institution, the moment your profit motives creeps in your mind and you think of earning money after your education. The privatization of health and education has led to the extinction of human values. It has eroded the not only purchasing power of people, it has killed the conscience. People blame the modern youth, present generation for a social upheaval, social degradation. I don't blame them. We are responsible for this because we have not taught them morality. We have not allowed them to compete, fight, to understand the grim reality of society. We have made their mind from the mother's womb to earn money well. So why do you blame the modern generation? That leads to inequality. When you enter a a corporate sector, for mild treatment, immediately you have to spend 1 lakh rupees. Unless you have a medical scheme, mediclaim schemes or a job provision, then you lose 1 lakh rupees small disease. How many schemes can compensate the loss you spend? If you enter in a private education or LKG student, you have to spend 50 rupees. How many can scheme compensate this loss? In 1 year, around 5 crores people were dragged into the poverty, below the poverty line because of spending health. India has the most privatized health sector. India's health expenditure is one of the lowest in the as percent of GDP in the world. And expenditure on health and education as percentage of total expenditure in budget is declining. That must be known. That is creating inequality. Because you cannot spend, you cannot read, you cannot fulfill your aspiration. So there are so many things. Either interest rate reduction or a taxation policy. Another important thing is what I want to tell. Your principal also raised this. Poor pay more taxes as compared to rich. You may think how. Isn't it? Direct tax is progressive, indirect tax is regressive. Indirect tax is regressive because it taxes the rich and the poor at the same rate. When I purchase this mobile, the tax what I pay. If a billionaire purchase this mobile, you will pay the same tax and rate. Isn't it? Yes. But direct taxes, income tax, corporate tax, wealth tax is progressive. It can be more progressive if it will increase with the rise of income and wealth. GST revenue is increasing. But who are paying? Because India has one of the highest GST rate and India has more goods and services included GST. And GST erode the purchasing power of people. That you must remember. Because poor pays at the same rate. A beggar pays at the same rate what a rich pay. When you consume petroleum products, you pay the same rate at what rich and pay. That is why our taxation system should be more tax should be generated by way for direct tax and much less in the indirect tax. But gradually our system is distorted in such way more taxes is generated by way for indirect tax. That is why poor people are paying more taxes. As far as Oxfam report, around 10% of the rich pay only 3% tax, GST. While as 50% of the poorer section of the society pay 64% of GST. That means taxation system is rigged to favor the rich. That is the one thing. So all those are leading to inequality, which we must understand and we must object. Isn't it? Inequality creates a sense of grievance and heartburning in the mind of people. Poverty is a relative term. Poverty should be treated as relative term, though it is treated as absolute term. It is publicized that 25 crores people have been extricated from the poverty line, multidimensional poverty. So we are feeling happy because those who are rich and powerful, they want that you should lead a wretched life. You are born to only eat. You do not have a right to a decent life. They can amass wealth, they can move in car, aeroplane, they can build up a factory, they can build up a palatial building, they can have enormous wealth, they can lead a cozy life, but you are born to only just to wake out basic existence. You should not raise voice. So poverty line is decided in such way that it will show the figure that more people have been out of poverty line. The poverty line is not yet declared since 2011-12. Remember, this poverty line is a multinational poverty line. UNDP declare, India is declaring by Niti Aayog based on National Health Family Survey. This is not a poverty line. This is a starvation line. That is a deprivation line. Beyond this line, you are not suffering from deprivation. You must understand. But it does not provide the basic necessary to sustain a life. According to Oxfam report, this poverty line is evaluated in monitor $2.15 in purchasing power parity. If 6.85 rupees is considered a purchasing power parity as a poverty line, then in the world around it will take 329 years to reduce poverty. That's the important thing. So, to show that people are out of poverty, people are leading a luxurious life, people are leading a happy life, it is defined. But India occupies an abysmal position in all important index, remember. Human Development Index, Global Happiness Index, Hunger Index, Sustainable Development Index. GDP is not an indicator of the well-being of the society, remember. For example, somebody had taken a liquor, he purchased liquor, then GDP is created. Then he got accident, he got his vehicle repaired, then GDP grew. Then he
माने केते बिहेवियरल इकोनॉमिक्स देखुछे आमे माने खाली पॉवर्टी लाइन पढुछे बट सर केते सुंदर डिफाइन करले दैट इज नॉट ए पॉवर्टी लाइन काहे कि पॉवर्टी लाइन कहिलेनी बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन अछि जहां क्वेश्चन अछि मु गोटी पिला टिपुची देखुची अंशुमान टिपुची इप्सिता आर राइटिंग समस्त क्वेश्चन लेखो विल हैव ए ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम आल्सो रिगार्डिंग दिस सर जो पॉइंट उडा कहउछ वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट तमे जेते बेले कंपटीशन रे जीवो आगु को कौन सी गोटे जगह कहवाई जीव तुमको इकोनॉमिक स्टूडेंट भाव में बहुत क्वेश्चन आसो बट ये जो सार कथा गुड़ाक छोटिया छोटिया कथा बट वेरी इंपोर्टाट मुझे सार को टे ब्रेक देली सार तो शुणिले तुम सरबनी बहुत कथा अच्छी किंतु जो प्रैक्टिकल जिनसा कहते पिले केतना पॉइंट लिखिकी रख तुम जो कंपटीशन इन द सेंस कोठी तुम बैंकिंग जॉब हो रेलवे जॉब हो जोड़ी भी जीव इंश्योरेंस हो जोड़ी जीव इकोनॉमिक्स कौन बेस अच्छी तुम खाली डिफाइन करदे हमारी जिनसटा वर्तमान देखो आमे कहूचे जे इनइक्वालिटीज अच्छी केते दूर अच्छी केमिति अच्छी सार बुझिले ना न बुझी परछ पॉइंट सब टिपी रख आमे सार को पाइबा मु तो सार को बांधी रखी छी तब ऑनलाइन राउंड आनिबी हां आमे सेही दिन ही क्वेश्चन पछे हम मस्त निजे निजे तमे काहे कि ना मु देखो जे समस्त को ब्लैक माइंड रे सुनु जो किंतु जदि ओपन माइंड रखिबो ए क्वेश्चन गुडा लिखि के रखिबो एवं सार गुडा में सुनिबा तो नॉलेज एक्सपांड हो और सार को लाइन अलगा हेले भी हमटो अधिक नॉलेज गेन करछे यस सर
So, my viewpoint is that there is a rampant inequality. There will be inequality, but inequality should be based on efficiency, talent. But the inequality rampant because the system is defective, and a system or defective system is perpetuate to support the rich and the powerful, and those who are beneficiaries. So that affects our life and living. So for either to curb inequality, there is a need for a progressive taxation. We don't have a wealth taxes. It has abolished. We don't have inheritance tax. So it should be introduced, and there should be imposition of a control on the flow of finance capital. That is the biggest danger. You in a share market, you earn huge money without contribution, and you also lose huge money without your demerit. That means that the share market is also manipulated and black money are invested. So participatory notes, foreign institutional investors. That I am not going to much deeper this. So the only solution for to curb inequality is to curb corruption, to impose the higher taxation, progressive taxation on each and one section of the society. I am not telling it is proved by London School of Economics Research. It has been proved by many researchers. Now coming to the employment, because this always appeals you, because you want the employment. When we are reading, then at that time, if somebody was a better student and working hard, he had a chance to get a job in organic sector. Today, this is not possible. It is not that will be possible for everybody. We must understand, be realistic. But what I am opposed, government job cannot be squeezed. You may think, job when we consider employment, that is employment in both organized sector and unorganized sector. Remember, unorganized sector or informal sector and organized sector. Around 52 crores people are a labor force. You may know what is the definition of labor force, how it is determined, how is the employment determined, how is the unemployment determined. Labor force means above the age of 15, or sometimes it is told as 16, sometimes it is told 15 to 64. Let us add up for one band above the 15. Yes. Number of people seeking job and number of people are employed both in either organized or unorganized sector. Those who do not seek job, they are not considered unemployed. Remember, unemployment rate is now India is around 7 to 8%. Very. In 2017-18, it has reached 6.1% according to National Sample Survey. But it was not disclosed, and this was 6.1% was a 45 years high. In Corona time, in 1 month, it had crossed around 23%. So now present unemployment rate is varying from 6 to 8%. Let it. Total people seeking a job and people unemployed, you constitute the total employment, whom we consider employment, those who are in job as percentage of total working force. Our labor force participation rate is one of the lowest in the world, and female labor force participation is very, very worst. I am not going to this figure, you can collect it. The reason that people are not seeking more jobs because they are dampened by the situation. They think they are hopeless. What is important? Out of 50 crores, around 9 to 10% people work in the organized sector. Rest is the unorganized sector. Where in unorganized sector there is no job condition, there is no facility, there is no pension benefit, there is no social benefit, there is no job security. So nobody aspires to become to work in unorganized sector. But the majority, 90% of employed people work in unorganized sector. It is true. Rest 10% in organized sector. Even those who work in 10% in organized sector, in unorganized sector, more are working in agriculture, highest, construction and others. In the organized sector, there are also majority job are vulnerable. There is no job security. You can hire and fire. So important thing that those who are highly scholar, brilliant students, they seek more job in the organized sector. There are propagated that selling something is a job. Everybody can self-employed. I am not telling that everybody can get a job. It is impossible. Everybody cannot get a job in the organized sector, not unorganized sector. But if there will be no job in the organized sector, how the job will be created in unorganized sector? That is the biggest question. I have raised a question. One of the professor from Columbia University has written an article in Economist Times. I have raised this question, and this is my views also was published in Economist Times. Thing is that When I have a job in a public sector, organized sector, or central government, or state government, or organized sector, when I earn some money, secret money, I not only I pay tax, I can purchase a TV, I can build house, I can appoint a maid servant, I can appoint a driver. That means when I spend, I create a job, so many jobs for indirectly others. Isn't that it? For example, somebody is selling pakudi in your office, selling pakudi is a total job. If 10 people or 20 people come and sell the pakudi, will they able to earn money?
No.
So that means jobs should be created in organized sector so that it can lead to the job in the unorganized sector, which is missing in the government planning. Another thing is that they are floating some scheme to woo the voters, to appease the voters, because voters is feeling I am getting so many benefit, so he will cast vote. But indirectly they are cutting the social expenditure, welfare expenditure, they are cutting the productivity expenditure, they are cutting the expenditure on health education, which indirectly erode the purchasing power of people. The people who gain less lose more, but people feel elated when they get benefit of some schemes. That is why I always stress to provide health, education, housing free, those who have got housing. There is no need, automatically it will raise the purchasing power of people. So jobs should be created in the organized sector so that it can lead to job in the unorganized sector. But in government, there is a decline of a job in the organized sector. You know how much of vacancy in the educational sector better than me. There are schools only one teacher, 5 classes. Is not it? No classes.
5 teachers, no classes. That also.
That happens. And in the hospital, you don't have a doctor. Even today, there are so many doctors are created, but how many of them are becoming a good doctor? You do not have a expertise. If you want to go to a doctor, you have to pay the fees minimum 500 and also wait 1 hour 2 hours. Forget going to the hospital, then it is much more painful. That means medical and education is a disastrous condition in our nation, which needs to be addressed. There should not be squeeze in job. When the job is created in organized sector, those people pay taxes also. They create a job. Government policy, I am not telling that government can provide everybody with job in the organized sector. Government can create a more job. What happens, important things you must remember. Today I am able to speak here. Today I am able to think critically. Today I am able to read in late night. Why? Because I have a financial stability. If I will have to work in selling something for 10 to 15 hours or 2 years, my livelihood, I have to spend 18 hours a day. Can I read newspapers? Can I think independently? Quality of our life will be declined. Remember, quality of life will decline, and you will not think critically. Your development, you may accumulate wealth, but your entire development of life, qualitative improvement of life will not happen. A person can think about society only when he has a financial stability. You cannot subscribe newspaper today if you don't have money. That is missing. When people are no job, they are attending rallies, demonstration, drinking liquor, spoiling lives, indulging in social media, creating violence, denigrating some of others, destroying peace. Society is totally today torn asunder. There is violence, and it is degrading day by day. That is the most dangerous thing. I will do this. Finish very shortly. What is important for you? You do not know what is storing for you. but you have got a responsibility towards society. Remember, the school you read, the college you read, this is built on the taxpayers' money. This money is collected from the poorer section of the society also. The hospital you go or take medical education, this is built of the poorer section of the society also. The industry, the industrials build and think that we are contributing to some, they utilize the resources of the people. When you drive a vehicle, car, or build a construction house, you contribute the pollution of the environment. You contribute the global warming, which harm the poorer section of the society and they are affected by disease. You are what you are today is not because of your only talent, entrepreneurship, capability, because you have grown by contribution of the poorer section of the society also. So you have got a responsibility towards society. Definitely you should build up career. Unless remember, money is not the end of life, but it is the important part of life. Unless you have money, if you are a PhD holder from Harvard University, nobody will give weightage to you. Unless you provide medicine to your parents, they will think that my children are neglecting. Unless you take care of your family, they will feel that you are neglecting. But you can take care of only money. If you are hospitalized, nobody will come, everybody will express his emotion, but nobody will give you a 5 paise. No doctor will give you concession because you are a knowledgeable because you are very writer, you are become a good speaker, or you have a social contribution. Society is getting deteriorated, human greedy, arrogance is growing everywhere day by day. You are not responsible for this. This will increase because we are giving weightage to the status, position, and wealth. The moment society will give weightage to the creativity of people, good people, then society will change. The moment everything will be given weightage to status, position, then society will not change. So, apart from your building career, apart from earning money, apart from leading a decent life, you must have got a contribution responsibility to society. Never neglect your life because you are precious for the society, your family, your parents, your spouse, and so on and so on. I think I do not know whether I am going to do justice or not. I think you have some gain. You try to think critically, you build up career, contribute to society. With this, I compliment you.
Thank you, Dr. Mohapatra. He has explained very lucidly. Nothing more to say about his expression, his idea, his deliberation. I just conclude with one sentence. Whatever thing he has narrated here, he has developed another theory. You know, whatever he has written every day, that's a theory for all of us. If we go through that, madam କହୁଥିଲି ଟିକେ ଆଗରୁ ପଢିଥିଲେ ଯୋଉ ବିଷୟରେ ସୋ ମୁଁ ଏଠି ବସିଲା ବେଳେ ଭାବୁଥିଲି ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ କହୁଥିଲେ ପର୍ଚେଜିଂ ପାୱାର କେତେ ଜଣ ବୁଝିଥିବ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ବଟ୍ Pareto optimality, the welfare economics, he has narrated so keen point कितने सुंदर भाବରେ education, health and one more housing. ये तीनटा होची हमर अन्न वस्त्र आ ये जोटा हमर निहाती बेसिक नीड्स जदि बेसिक नीड्स को हमें इंपोर्टेंस न दबा ताहले से बजेट हो से जहा किछि हो किछि काम दबनी किते सुंदर जिंस किते जण रेस करि छै हमें केही कोहुनी सो वर्तमान टाइम आसी छी हम समस्त को से तो मोर अलग फील्ड रो छथि व्हाई ही हैज डेवलप सच ए very important point जे काहे कि हमें न कहबा आ जदि हमें पॉइंट रेस न करबा हमें कहचे पॉलिटिकल साइंस आर अछंती पीपल दिस गवर्नमेंट इज फॉर द पीपल बाय द पीपल ऑफ द पीपल किंतु आम जिंस हमें कहू नै हमें आ केते दिन बसिबा स्वाधीनतार केते वर्ष पर्यंत हमें बसिबा एवं हमर हक को हमें आनिबा गोटे सुंदर कथाटे कहले जे गोटे पिला पाठ पढुची इकोनॉमिक्स पिला तार टैलेंट देखो किंतु से गोटे भलो फैमिली जदी नाही ताहले सी हायर स्टडी करि पानी कि हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी जाई पानी कि गोटे बड़ सर्टिफिकेट पाइबनी तापर नेक्स्ट जा अछि सिमिलरली गोटे डॉक्टर 40 लाख वर्ष टू दे 6 वर्ष 24 2 कोटी 40 लाख दे सदस्य होते पाठ पढुछथि से डाक्टर ता भीतर गोटे डाक्टर मो हाथ रे पड़ेछि मो दांत 4 दिन ला बहुत कष्ट तारे पैसा देली 6000 टका तापर मते कहले आउ टिके मैडम 7000 दरकार आपण दांत ऊपर गोटे लगे